I'm Sophia.
And I'm Jake. And today's topic is something very personal, emotional, and honestly, very relatable for many people.
Because today we're talking about social anxiety.
More specifically, how I overcame social anxiety.
And before we begin, we actually want to ask you something.
Have you ever overthought a conversation for hours afterward?
Or felt nervous before speaking to someone new?
Or worried that people were secretly judging you?
If yes, you're definitely not alone.
And maybe write yes in the comments if you relate to this topic.
Social anxiety is something millions of people quietly struggle with every single day.
Especially in modern life.
Some people feel nervous speaking in groups.
Some overthink every conversation afterward.
Some feel uncomfortable meeting new people.
And many people become afraid of being judged socially.
Social anxiety can affect work, friendships, relationships, confidence, and even simple daily conversations.
Especially for English learners.
Definitely.
Many English learners already feel nervous speaking English.
And social anxiety makes communication feel even more difficult emotionally.
In today's episode, we'll talk about fear of judgment, awkwardness, overthinking, confidence, vulnerability, self-acceptance, and how people slowly become more comfortable socially over time.
We'll also practice calm and natural English conversation together while learning useful emotional vocabulary, real-life expressions, and deeper communication skills.
So, if you want to improve your English while listening to honest and meaningful conversations, you're in the right place.
And if you enjoy these kinds of calm English conversations, please subscribe to Chill English channel.
Subscribing helps us continue creating peaceful and meaningful English lessons for learners around the world.
All right, Jake.
Let's begin.
Do you think social anxiety became more common today?
Honestly, yes, definitely.
Why?
Because modern life made people more connected digitally.
But sometimes less comfortable socially in real life.
Exactly.
Social media changed communication a lot.
People spend more time online,
But less time having real face-to-face conversations.
which can make social situations feel more stressful emotionally.
Especially because people now constantly compare themselves to others.
Comparison creates insecurity very easily.
Insecurity is such an important word here.
Yes, insecurity means lacking confidence or feeling uncertain about yourself.
For example, social anxiety often creates insecurity.
Or, comparison can increase emotional insecurity.
Another thing about social anxiety is that people often overthink constantly.
Ah, yes, overthinking is a huge part of social anxiety.
People replay conversations repeatedly in their minds.
Thinking, did I sound awkward? Did I say something stupid? Did they judge me?
That mental replay becomes exhausting emotionally.
And honestly, if you've ever done this before, you're very human.
Very human.
Social anxiety can make tiny moments feel emotionally huge.
Especially because socially anxious people are often extremely self-aware.
Self-aware can be positive sometimes.
But too much self-awareness can create anxiety.
Exactly.
Socially anxious people often monitor themselves constantly during conversations.
Their voice,
Their body language,
their facial expressions,
their words.
which makes conversations feel mentally overwhelming.
Overwhelming is another useful emotional word.
Overwhelming means emotionally or mentally too difficult to handle comfortably.
For example, large social situations feel overwhelming.
Or, overthinking conversations becomes emotionally overwhelming.
Let's teach our listeners a useful sentence pattern.
Good idea.
One useful pattern is, I used to feel nervous when blank.
For example, I used to feel nervous when meeting new people.
Or, I used to feel nervous speaking in front of groups.
Native speakers use used to very naturally when talking about past fears or old habits.
Another huge part of social anxiety is fear of judgment.
Definitely.
Many socially anxious people constantly worry about what others think about them.
Which creates pressure during conversations.
Pressure to sound smart.
Pressure to appear confident.
Pressure to avoid embarrassment,
Embarrassment feels extremely intense for socially anxious people.
especially because small awkward moments feel much bigger emotionally inside their minds.
Awkward is another important vocabulary word.
Awkward means socially uncomfortable or slightly embarrassing.
For example, I felt awkward during the conversation.
Or, social anxiety often creates awkward silence.
Another interesting thing is that socially anxious people are often very kind and thoughtful.
That's honestly true. Many socially anxious people care deeply about how others feel, which is why they overanalyze social situations constantly.
Overanalyze means thinking about something too deeply or excessively.
For example, I tend to overanalyze conversations.
Or, social anxiety causes people to overanalyze small mistakes.
Another thing social anxiety affects is body language.
Definitely.
Anxiety changes eye contact, posture, voice tone, and physical comfort.
Some people avoid eye contact when nervous.
Others speak too quietly.
Some talk very fast because of anxiety.
And many people become physically tense during conversations.
Tense is another excellent emotional vocabulary word.
Tense means physically or emotionally tight because of stress or anxiety.
For example, I become tense during presentations.
Or my body feels tense in social situations.
Another difficult part of social anxiety is avoidance.
Ah, yes, avoidance makes anxiety stronger over time.
Many people avoid conversations, social events, or speaking opportunities because they feel nervous,
Which feels safer temporarily.
but slowly reduces confidence long term.
Confidence usually grows through exposure, not avoidance.
Exposure is another important word.
Exposure means gradually experiencing difficult situations repeatedly.
For example, small social exposure helps reduce anxiety.
Or confidence grows through repeated exposure.
And actually, pause for a second and think about this.
How many awkward moments from other people do you truly remember?
Probably very few.
Because most people are usually thinking about themselves too,
Their own worries,
their own insecurities.
their own stress.
That realization can feel surprisingly freeing emotionally.
Another thing many people misunderstand is that socially confident people are not always fearless.
Definitely.
Many confident people still feel nervous sometimes.
The difference is that they continue anyway.
Exactly.
Courage is not the absence of fear.
It's acting despite fear.
That's honestly such an important life lesson.
Especially because confidence is usually built gradually through experience.
Not magically overnight.
Another thing I've noticed is that socially anxious people are often extremely harsh toward themselves internally.
Definitely.
They criticize small mistakes constantly.
They expect perfection socially.
They feel embarrassed very easily.
And perfectionism increases anxiety tremendously.
Perfectionism is such a huge part of social anxiety.
Because people become afraid of saying the wrong thing, sounding awkward, or making mistakes publicly.
Especially when speaking another language.
Definitely.
Many English learners fear being judged for grammar mistakes or pronunciation.
But honestly, communication matters much more than perfection.
Real conversations are naturally imperfect.
Native speakers make mistakes too.
Everyone experiences awkward moments sometimes.
And before we continue, think about this question.
What social situation makes you feel the most nervous?
Speaking English?
Phone calls?
Meeting new people?
Speaking in groups?
Keep your answer in your mind while we continue today's conversation.
Because maybe one of the biggest lessons people slowly learn is this.
Most people are thinking about themselves far more than they are judging you. One thing I find very interesting about social anxiety is that people often appear calm externally.
While internally feeling completely overwhelmed.
Exactly.
Someone may look quiet or serious on the outside.
But inside, their mind is racing constantly.
Thinking, what should I say? Do I sound strange? Am I being awkward?
Social anxiety creates non-stop self-monitoring.
Self-monitoring is such an important concept.
Yes, self-monitoring means constantly observing and judging your own behavior.
Socially anxious people often analyze every small detail during conversations.
Their voice,
Their words,
their body language,
their facial expressions.
which becomes mentally exhausting over time, especially because conversations are supposed to feel natural and relaxed.
But anxiety turns communication into pressure.
Pressure to sound interesting,
Pressure to avoid mistakes.
pressure to appear confident. Another thing many socially anxious people experience is fear of silence,
Ah, yes. Awkward silence feels terrifying sometimes.
especially during conversations with new people.
And honestly, are you comfortable with silence during conversations?
Or do you immediately feel pressure to say something?
A lot of socially anxious people feel uncomfortable the moment conversations become quiet.
People often feel responsible for keeping conversations alive constantly, which creates even more anxiety mentally. Let's teach our listeners a useful sentence pattern.
Good idea.
One useful pattern is, I always worried that blank,
For example, I always worried that people would judge me.
or I always worried that I sounded awkward.
Native speakers use this pattern naturally when discussing old fears or insecurities.
Another huge part of social anxiety is anticipation.
Definitely.
Sometimes the anxiety before a social situation feels worse than the situation itself.
That's honestly so true.
People spend hours worrying before meetings, presentations, phone calls, or social events.
Anticipation anxiety can become emotionally exhausting.
Anticipation means thinking or worrying about something before it happens.
For example, I feel anxious in anticipation of social events.
Or anticipation often makes anxiety stronger.
Another thing many socially anxious people struggle with is comparison.
Definitely.
They compare themselves to socially confident people constantly.
Thinking, why can't I speak naturally like them? Why do they seem so relaxed?
Social anxiety often makes people believe everyone else feels more confident than they actually do.
But honestly, many people quietly feel nervous too.
People often misunderstand confidence.
Exactly.
Social confidence is usually built through experience and repetition.
Not because someone is magically fearless.
Many socially confident people were once extremely shy too.
Shy is another important emotional word.
Shy means nervous or uncomfortable around people socially.
For example, I was extremely shy as a teenager.
Or shyness often decreases with experience.
Another thing social anxiety affects is authenticity.
Ah, yes. Many anxious people stop acting naturally.
Because they become too focused on managing impressions,
Managing impressions means trying to control how other people see you.
which creates emotional tension constantly.
Tension is another useful word.
Tension means emotional or physical stress and discomfort. For example, social anxiety creates emotional tension, or I felt tense starting the conversation.
Another thing many people realize later is that trying too hard socially often increases anxiety.
Definitely.
Trying to sound perfect,
Trying to avoid mistakes.
trying to impress everyone.
That pressure becomes emotionally exhausting.
Ironically, conversations often improve when people relax slightly.
Exactly.
Authenticity creates better connection than perfection.
People connect emotionally with honesty, warmth, and sincerity, not perfect performance.
Another thing I've noticed is that socially anxious people often avoid opportunities that could help them grow.
Definitely.
Avoiding presentations,
Avoiding conversations.
avoiding new friendships,
Avoiding public speaking.
which feels safe temporarily.
But slowly strengthens fear long term.
That's why gradual exposure matters so much psychologically.
Small social risks slowly build confidence.
Saying hello first,
Asking simple questions.
joining conversations briefly.
Speaking despite nervousness.
Tiny moments of courage matter emotionally.
Another thing people slowly realize is that awkward moments are normal.
Definitely.
Everyone experiences awkwardness sometimes.
Even socially confident people.
Conversations naturally contain pauses, misunderstandings, and small uncomfortable moments occasionally.
But socially anxious people often treat tiny awkward moments like disasters emotionally.
Exactly.
They replay them repeatedly afterward.
Which increases embarrassment internally.
Embarrassment itself becomes something people fear intensely.
And actually, think about this for a second. How often do you remember small, awkward mistakes from other people?
Probably almost never.
Because most people are too busy thinking about themselves,
Their own insecurities,
their own problems,
their own worries.
which means people notice our mistakes much less than we imagine.
Honestly, that realization changed my perspective a lot.
That realization feels strangely freeing emotionally.
Freeing is such a beautiful word here.
Freeing means creating emotional relief or freedom from pressure.
For example, accepting imperfection feels emotionally freeing.
Or confidence becomes easier when you stop overthinking constantly.
Another thing social anxiety affects deeply is body language.
Definitely.
Nervous people often close themselves physically without realizing it.
Looking downward.
Crossing arms,
Speaking quietly.
avoiding eye contact.
Anxiety changes physical energy naturally.
But interestingly, body language can also influence emotions.
That's true.
Standing more openly, breathing slowly, and relaxing physically can slightly reduce anxiety sometimes.
Small physical adjustments affect emotional states surprisingly strongly.
Another thing many socially anxious people struggle with is self-acceptance.
Definitely.
They constantly feel like they must become better socially before deserving confidence.
But confidence often begins with accepting imperfection,
Accepting awkward moments.
accepting nervousness.
Accepting that humans are naturally imperfect socially,
Perfectionism creates enormous pressure emotionally.
especially for English learners.
Many learners become silent because they fear mistakes.
But mistakes are necessary for fluency.
Every confident speaker once sounded awkward too.
By the way, what social situation feels the most uncomfortable for you? Phone calls?
English speaking?
Meeting new people?
Public speaking?
You can write your answer in the comments if you want.
Another thing that helped many people overcome social anxiety is realizing that connection matters more than performance.
That's honestly such an important lesson.
Conversations are not performances.
They are human connection.
Listening matters.
Warmth matters.
Curiosity matters.
Presence matters.
People usually remember how someone made them feel emotionally.
Not whether every sentence sounded perfect. And maybe one of the biggest turning points in overcoming social anxiety is this.
Real confidence often begins the moment people stop trying so hard to appear perfect socially.
Because people connect more deeply with honesty than perfection.
Now, let's talk about what actually helped people slowly become more socially confident over time. So far, we've talked about overthinking, fear of judgment, awkwardness, self-awareness, and social pressure. Now let's focus on something important.
Yes, let's talk about how people slowly overcome social anxiety and become more comfortable around others.
Because healing social anxiety usually does not happen overnight.
Definitely not.
It usually happens through small experiences repeated over time.
Small conversations.
Small moments of courage.
Tiny social risks.
Gradually, the brain begins learning, maybe social situations are not as dangerous as I imagined.
That gradual exposure changes confidence slowly.
Exposure is honestly one of the most important parts of overcoming anxiety.
Definitely.
Avoidance strengthens fear emotionally,
But exposure slowly weakens fear.
especially when people survive awkward moments and realize, I'm still okay.
That realization feels very powerful psychologically.
Another important lesson people learn is that confidence is usually built through action.
not before action.
Exactly.
Many people wait too long to feel confident first.
But confidence usually appears after repeated experience,
Speaking more,
meeting people more,
making mistakes more.
becoming comfortable with imperfection.
That's honestly one of the healthiest mindset shifts.
Let's teach our listeners a useful sentence pattern.
Good idea.
One useful pattern is, I slowly became more comfortable with blank.
For example, I slowly became more comfortable speaking in groups.
Or, I slowly became more comfortable introducing myself.
Native speakers use became more comfortable with very naturally during self-growth conversations.
Another huge part of overcoming social anxiety is self-compassion.
Self-compassion is so important emotionally.
Many socially anxious people are extremely harsh toward themselves internally,
They criticize every small mistake,
replay awkward moments repeatedly.
expect perfection constantly.
But healing usually begins when people stop attacking themselves emotionally.
Compassion creates emotional safety internally.
Self-compassion means treating yourself with patience and understanding instead of constant criticism.
For example, self-compassion helps reduce anxiety.
Or, I'm learning to speak to myself more kindly.
That second sentence sounds emotionally powerful.
Because internal dialogue affects confidence deeply.
Definitely.
People who constantly insult themselves mentally often feel emotionally exhausted.
Especially socially anxious people.
Another important thing people realize is that awkwardness is part of being human.
Exactly.
Everyone experiences uncomfortable conversations sometimes.
Everyone says strange things occasionally.
Everyone feels nervous in certain situations,
But socially anxious people often believe awkwardness means failure.
when actually awkward moments are normal parts of communication.
Normalizing imperfection changes confidence tremendously.
Another thing that helps people overcome social anxiety is focusing more on other people.
Ah, yes. That's such a powerful shift mentally.
Anxiety often traps attention internally,
People become obsessed with monitoring themselves constantly.
but focusing outward changes conversations completely.
Asking questions,
Listening carefully,
becoming curious about others.
that creates more natural communication.
Curiosity reduces self-consciousness surprisingly well.
Self-consciousness is another important emotional word.
Self-conscious means feeling overly aware of yourself in social situations.
For example, I used to feel extremely self-conscious in groups.
Or, social anxiety often creates self-conscious behavior.
Another huge lesson people learn is that authenticity creates stronger connection than performance.
Definitely.
Trying too hard to appear impressive often creates tension.
But relaxed honesty creates emotional warmth.
Warmth matters much more socially than perfection.
Warm people make others feel comfortable naturally.
Smiling gently,
Listening sincerely,
being genuine.
showing kindness.
Those things matter deeply in communication.
Another thing many people discover is that confidence feels quieter than they expected.
That's interesting. Explain that.
Well, many people imagine confidence as being loud, outgoing, or extremely charismatic,
But real confidence often feels calm instead.
calm enough to stop overthinking constantly,
Calm enough to accept imperfection.
calm enough to speak naturally without needing approval from everyone.
That kind of confidence feels emotionally peaceful.
Peaceful is honestly the perfect word.
Another thing social anxiety teaches people is empathy.
Definitely.
Many anxious people become deeply understanding toward others emotionally,
Because they know what insecurity and fear feel like internally.
which often makes them compassionate listeners.
Empathy creates beautiful human connection.
Another important lesson people slowly learn is this: most meaningful conversations are actually very simple.
Definitely. Asking someone how their day was.
Sharing thoughts honestly,
Laughing naturally.
listening carefully.
Human connection usually grows through small moments, not perfect performances.
Another thing many people realize is that confidence is not permanent.
That's very true.
Even confident people still experience nervousness sometimes.
Social growth is ongoing,
Some situations still feel uncomfortable occasionally.
but emotionally healthy people stop treating nervousness like danger.
Exactly.
They allow nervousness to exist without panicking about it.
That emotional acceptance changes everything.
Acceptance reduces resistance internally.
And resistance often increases anxiety.
Another important part of healing social anxiety is finding emotionally safe people.
Definitely.
Supportive friends help confidence grow naturally.
People who listen without judgment.
People who create emotional comfort.
Safe relationships reduce fear tremendously.
Another thing that helps many people overcome anxiety is realizing this.
Nobody is socially perfect.
Everyone has insecurities.
Everyone feels awkward sometimes.
Everyone worries about being accepted occasionally.
Humans are naturally imperfect socially.
And honestly, that imperfection makes people feel more human and relatable.
Let's teach one final useful sentence pattern.
The pattern is, I'm learning how to blank.
For example, I'm learning how to speak more confidently.
Or, I'm learning how to feel more comfortable around people.
Those sentences sound very natural and emotionally warm in English.
Let's do a little speaking practice.
If possible, try answering these questions out loud.
First question, why do people experience social anxiety?
Second question, how does overthinking affect conversations?
Third question, what helps people become more socially confident?
Fourth question, why is perfectionism unhealthy socially?
Fifth question, what helped you feel more comfortable around people?
Try using the sentence patterns we practiced today.
For example, I used to feel nervous when blank.
Or, I slowly became more comfortable with blank.
Or, I'm learning how to blank.
Speaking out loud helps emotional English become more natural and fluent.
And conversations about emotions and confidence are excellent for improving real communication skills in English.
Before we finish, let's quickly review what we talked about today.
We discussed social anxiety, overthinking, fear of judgment, awkwardness, perfectionism, vulnerability, and confidence.
We also talked about self-compassion, authenticity, emotional safety, exposure, and human connection.
We learned useful emotional vocabulary and natural English sentence patterns related to confidence and communication.
Most importantly, we talked about something millions of people quietly experience every day.
Feeling socially anxious.
And maybe one of the biggest lessons is this.
Confidence is not about becoming perfect socially.
It's about becoming comfortable being yourself.
Small moments of courage matter.
Honest conversations matter.
Human connection matters more than perfect performance.
And confidence often grows slowly through imperfect but repeated experiences.
Now it's time for our question of the day.
What helps you feel more confident around other people?
Write your answer in the comments.
You can begin your sentence like this. One thing that helps me feel more confident is blank.
We always enjoy reading your answers.
It's a wonderful way to practice your English writing